Good morning. Good morning. What's up, y'all? Good morning. Welcome to my channel. I am Angelica with In God's Timing. I'm gonna go ahead and throw in this disclaimer. I don't own the rights to any of the music you might hear in the background because sometimes you have those days where you got to get in your zone, get your mind right. So I don't own the rights to any of the music. I don't do the playing on the music on YouTube right now because I just haven't got to that point yet. So I'm listening to my music in the background. So I don't own the rights to any of the music that you may hear in the background. We all at a point where we getting reality checks, okay, or may need a reality check. Um, it's a lot going on. Um, it's a lot going on. It's very real right now. Just even with a lot of the different things that I'm seeing or experiencing myself. And I'll be honest, because like I say, on my YouTube channel or how I do things and so forth or whatever, I do it out of obedience, not because I always feel like it. Okay, so let's just jump right on into it. Reality checks. So with everything that's going on, and it's sad that you have to even give the disclaimer of all these different things or whatever. This video is not to offend anybody. It's not to make you feel no type of way. And honestly, if even you get offended, that's somewhat of that conviction. On top of, you may have issues and areas that may get touched that you may need to work on, heal from, whatever, vice versa. Okay. I also want to say thank you to those individuals that are having positive channels, are doing positive things in the communities, especially in the Black communities, but all over. First and foremost, to help build the body of Christ, help build believers, okay, in Jesus Christ. Um, and then also my people. Thank you, for giving different perspectives and your viewpoint and standing strong on, what you think, what you believe, and giving your own personal experiences, situations, things that you can help um, use to help other people. Okay. Because a lot of times people be like, I'm going through something similar or the same thing, but they won't say nothing. So it takes water walkers, it takes people stepping outside of the box to talk about real stuff, because everybody doesn't want truth, everybody doesn't receive it the same. And for me, thank you to those that you ain't got to cuss in everything you say to get your point across, where you just got a small still voice. When you talk to folk, we have to learn as we grow and mature to how to talk to people. That just comes with maturity. So as I said, I'm going to talk about a few different things this morning. And like I said, one of the things is, so much is a mockery. Them reality checks and just with everything that's happening and that's going on in these times, sometimes it's like surreal. Like it can't be real. Like it's a movie. Like, this just is above and beyond. I think about how so far things have went left. Or even from the aspect of, just how the progress, the acceleration of so much, whether it be from the evilness, from the cold heartedness. And like I said, I'm astonished, but at the same time, it's like I'm not even surprised. But that doesn't mean that we don't recognize it. That doesn't mean that it doesn't hurt, that it hits everybody differently. The things that we're seeing, things that we're being exposed to, things that we've been dealing with, okay, as far as people as a whole, okay. A lot of times people will undermine and overlook your hurt, your pain, because yes, we are accountable for ourselves and the choices that we make. But at the same time, we have contributions from so many different areas, so many different gateways, people striving to cope, um, just to even live. Can we live? I think about that for my people. And the different things that I'm going to talk about, it's no order, it's no script. I have my little notes that I keep track of, but it wasn't that many today. So for the most part, I'm just gonna let it flow. Um, so many things that are hurtful. It's sad. Like even when I just look around, and this is like I said, some of even my own personal experiences, observations, like just like, wow, like so far left, so far, like people just don't even care. And I think the thing about it is we don't even think about how, because of the things, some of the things that we do, because of some of the things we touch, we end up making contributions to not only the foolishness, but stuff that transpire, things that happen. And you have to think about it. A lot of times, even with truth, it comes with a cost. People have gotten so accustomed to hearing what they want to hear, where you've been getting exactly what you want from different perspectives, different platforms, and everything. Exactly what you want to hear, what you got a taste for, what your appetite is for. Basically, your lust. Lust is never satisfied. Okay. Things that you are exposed to, things that you want, your mindset. The biggest thing right now is how you think, your mindset. So many folk mindset is like so thrown. Like even just it be like, this can't be real. So let's jump on into this. No filter, no holding back this morning. So like I said, I'm letting this flow as how I just as it comes to me. That's what I'm going to talk about briefly because I got things to do. Okay, we all do, right? Some people do this for the clout, for the fame, for the followers, and everything above. But some people on assignment. Okay. So anywho, so one of the things that has really, like I said, just knowing and seeing the astonishment and how far left things have went. And even just realizing that we play a part in that. And what's so amazing, even to me, how much this world will panic, will be in fear when things start to take place or go left or things begin to transpire. You scared, but at the same time, you help and contribute to it. At the same time, you don't really want no real change and growth. So that reality check is even like from even a broader aspect, whether it be from church, from the world, to your families, to your job, to people that you around, and just separating, the different things and paying attention to the times we in. It's like, do people really want to be made well? Do people really want to see a difference? Because when you begin to put a stamp on, follow suit, and a lot of times people won't speak truth because they're in fear of the consequences, they're in fear of the attacks as believers, as far as the spiritual or the natural. Um, the world, you get, I guess the little people on the side that will make their little comments and stuff like that. And I made it up front a few times, and I make it clear one more time, probably another time after this. I don't do the debating. I don't go back and forth. I'm not gonna go back and forth with you. If it's something that when I do go back and watch the video, even not even just watching my videos, if it's something that maybe been came off the wrong way a little bit, or the as far as maybe how I said it or whatever, the Lord will convict me. So then I'll come back and correct it. But as far as me doing things for people, for social media, for all this other stuff, I don't do it for that. I'm not here to please man, and I'm not here to please people. Okay. If you watch this video, if you watch me, if you watch or whoever it is, okay, so many people like to comment and say so many different things. And it shows me how small minded some people are because you can't look beyond what you were conditioned. Facts and truth, because you don't want to hear it. And that's from different platforms. That's from different perspectives, just as a whole. We're intrigued by entertainment. So a lot of things that we watch and we see is entertaining. Look, reality check. It's entertaining. Okay, you're not getting no food off of it. You're not. you can't even relate to it. You may relate to it from some aspects, but it's entertainment. It's not real life. So the first thing I'm gonna talk about, and I'm just gonna jump into this one first because I know this is gonna be the realest one. And before I even for this part, I even made sure that I reached out to certain people for different perspectives to make sure that I got knowledge on certain things that um didn't apply to me, but I felt some type of way. Okay. So with all these different conversations on race and all these different things, and now everybody want to say they African American, and that they can understand what black folk going through, the black American, um or even just black folk period. You can identify. I had to make sure I talk to different people because I'm one of those. I'm a very personable person. So I know people from all different backgrounds, whether it be white, black, Haitian, Puerto Rican, Jamaican. All it's just it's a broad aspect. I mentioned to people that God can use you and who you are and polish it and polish you up. Okay, where you can still be yourself, and he just polish you up. It's a way in how you do things and everything that you do. Okay, how you treat people, how you talk to people, how you may talk with certain people, you may not talk with somebody else. It's a time and a place for everything. Okay, you have to know how to place yourself. It's not that you being fake, but you have to know where people are at because we're all at different levels. We're all at different stages of our lives. But still remembering to respect our differences, to respect that regardless of even this hype of everybody want to be black now, everybody want to be African American now, it is still a difference. Okay, so let me break this down for you. The African American black folk, okay, the American blacks, okay, it is a difference between somebody that has a black mama and a black daddy, okay, between somebody that may have other races mixed, because I have family members, people that I know that are mixed with different races, okay, and then you have black in you too. So I had to even ask, what box do you check? Because I can have these type conversations with people that I know, and them not get offended like a lot of people on social media. Okay. So I had these conversations. I said, well, what box do you check for yourself or for your children when you fill out paperwork or certain things or whatever? And is it different um, as far as how you're treated, who you may get, blah, blah, blah. And they mentioned it is a difference because I wanted to make sure, that I did my research. So I have family members, like I said, different people that I know that may have been interracial relationships. So you may have some that um because of love, it's different when you really feeling somebody because of who they are, it's something about them that you like or whatever, and you end up in a relationship with them. A lot of times we end up in premarital relationships before we, as far as having kids or whatever. But for the most part, it is a difference. That's what everyone confirmed, how your children are treated, um, being able to embrace the different cultures. But at the same time, the black side is put, as some of them don't even accept it as far as other family members. They don't acknowledge it. Then you have some that embrace it. It just depends on, because everybody's situation is specialized according to their lifestyle or what they into, or what even the type of person, whatever it is. Okay. So my point of this is saying that because you hear so many people and so many people that have adapted the black culture that has been honestly altered anyways, but still it is a difference between the black African American. When I say that, I'm talking about pure raw black mama, black daddy. Okay. So you talking about, you have our own people that fight us and it's against us that we've been conditioned to deal with, right? You got white races that have been conditioned to in the mindset, learn to talk, to treat us any kind of way. You got other races, okay, that's been taught or conditioned or choose to treat us any kind of way. So you might as well say targets. Okay. If you choose to get into interracial dating or whatever it is, those are different things that I've been hearing that you have to deal with other perspectives of, you know, I heard one young lady say that her mom was like, she wished she never had her. She was a mixed young lady, mixed with black and something else. That's hurtful stuff that you got to deal with, right? Stuff that's real. But it is still a difference. Okay. This is the part where I say, when I went to Hawaii last year, and I mentioned this before we landed, one of the things that they said and stuck with me was respect the culture. So one of my biggest things is, even as I've met people and different things just because of me and how God has dealt with me and just even my own just upbringing and personality, you embrace other cultures, but then respect other cultures, right? So you have the Black American, African American, right? That our culture isn't respected. We're not respected. We're the face of everything that is wrong. It hurts my heart that I see time after time all these instances, from the killing to the disrespectful Karens to the injustice to the school system to this to that. And we approaching February, right? January almost over. We're as we approach even February, so-called Black History Month. It's a mockery and an insult when we still in 2022, a new year, and we dealing with the same stuff. So even when I hear about people talking, oh, you not the only ones that are scattered as far as Israel and Black folk and the stuff that we deal with, whether it be African American, Africans, Black, Haitians, Jamaican, whatever, Black folk, we still doing the same things. So when I hear people try to justify or make conversations about, oh, well, you're not the only one that's dealing with, racism or being scattered or things with history. And I'm going to let y'all intellectualize all that other stuff. You can have all that. I'm talking just straight real with y'all. It is still a difference. It is still a difference. So even when I say it's still a difference, because I asked somebody the example, I said, just tell me, if it was a Black person and somebody that's mixed, when I say Black, I mean Black American, Black mama, Black daddy, right? Might be different shades because I got 3 girls and they 3 different shades. Okay. I'm talking about pure raw. No other race. Not a white mama, daddy, whatever. No, that's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about just straight raw, Black mama, Black daddy. And you got another person where they be Asian, Korean, mixed, whatever, right? Which one the police gonna go for first? I asked a few different people this. They gonna go for that straight Black person, straight like that. So even though we know that we have integrated and we have interracial relationships, it's still a difference. I grew up with people. I had a homegirl. So, you know what I'm saying? But best friend at the time. Her daddy was Black and her mom was white. She was like German or something. Back in the day, they called her white girl. She may have had a little bit of the Negro hair where she, wore braids, different hairstyles, which is nothing wrong with that. But when I want people to sometimes, what everybody ain't gonna understand, it's still a difference. So certain struggles that other Black folk go through, you ain't gonna go through. I promise you. Ask any person who got a Black mama and a Black daddy, whether they light skin, dark skin, especially of darker skin, what you gonna deal with. The struggles, the stereotypes, from your own people, from somebody else's people, all these other things, right? That comes with it. So when people say we all African and we all this and we that, are you gonna take on some of these struggles we take on? So when you talk about culture appropriation, and you talk about people adapting That's like with any race. When you begin to blend, right? And you begin to mix, people they pick and choose or sometimes which one they want to heighten as far as race or whatever. It gets to a point where, okay, you still look different. You're still treated differently. It's not the same. So when I say the Black Americans and other races, so we know Massa raped, come on, don't play with me. Massa raped the Black women and came out with mixed children. So, those are what we know is through history sometimes was the house niggas or the ones that were lighter skinned, right? So when you think about even like the Willie Lynch stuff or even just scripture, okay, in the Bible, all these different things that we're experiencing and seeing happening, we're still living it today. So when people brush things off and get over it and don't, so you wonder why you're in a generation where people are trying to find their way and trying to figure out what's going on and why is this happening, and these different things. It's a hurt. Okay, this is why I say understanding, respecting the culture, respecting the struggle, respecting the grind, because now you have so many, and I hate to even say it like this, mixed breeds that will come in, and it's no shade at all, that because of you've been in the culture, around the culture, you think about even like just the way this generation is now, you have different races that are in the culture as far as maybe the hood, pick up and adapt the dialect, the talk, the swag, anybody you around. You think about when people talk about Black, white girls, if you're around that setting, if you're around that environment, you pick up certain qualities, certain characteristics because you're around it, right? That's why a lot of Black folk want their kids to go to the better schools. That's why they want, certain things, because at the end of the day, you think you're going to be treated differently. You teaching your children better, but then you get reminded real quick that you are who you are. So when I say that, even with people that I know, people that I talk to, that may be mixed with different races, their children may be mixed with different races, knowing to still, they still respect the differences or understand it's still different, especially if they have a child that's raw, Black mama, Black daddy, versus those that may be mixed, right? But it's a lot of argument, a lot of conversation, but you don't go through the same struggles. You may get a little bit more of a way out, okay? Even with the culture, respect. And when I say respect the culture, we get used so much in the Black community, when people adapt characteristics, adapt dialect, adapt all these different things, but we don't get no props and no respect. But at the same time, our own culture has been altered, manipulated, and prostituted, right? Talented and gifted. But you see Black folk at the face of low education, poverty, oppression, homosexuality, your entertainment industry, yes'ums, yes ma'ams, and yes boys, entangled with so much. So let me ask you this: have you gotten tired yet? So we'll support everybody else. We hate our own people. We hate our men. We hate our women. We hate ourselves. Other people hate us. Have you gotten tired yet? I be wondering, like, do people think about like this just ain't coincidence? So even when I get to a point where I can still respect and understand the different cultures, the different races, it's still a difference. Who's the first one that's gonna get attacked? It's still a difference. You can ask any Black person. They're real, just real. Got a Black mama, Black daddy. It's real. It's different. Especially when you have a lighter skin and they think you mix with anything. Ain't that the same thing as a house one? what they use in history. And I ain't gonna stay on that too long. But as I said, it is a difference. But when people adapt the culture, you take on certain things. You take on the dialect and everything, as I said. But who's at the forefront of everything? So I be even wondering, let's transition to the next part with my black folk. We know the thing about it is if you know now that we've been conditioned, that we've had different gateways that help lead us to destruction, people still follow it. They still do it. You want to have Black Lives Matter and all this other stuff, all these different organizations. And like I said, even with history coming around, Black History Month coming around the corner. Anything that we do, anything that we step up and do, people always see the bad. Never taught us on the good. Never taught us on those who really actually made a difference between besides the few that we hear in our history books or when Black History Month comes, right? Because me as an adult, I didn't even know know about Black Wall Street till I got older. So a lot of stuff that we not educated on, that don't want to be talked about, because that means stuff begins to get tore down and ripped up that was falsified, that wasn't talked about. So when you even break it down to relationships, even our churches, let me do the relationships part first. Family, home, biblical, the father and the mother. You got a lot of women out here. Look, Beyonce didn't turn y'all out, right? I'm a goddess. I'm a god. We need our Black men. I'm going to be one to say it. I want to encourage them. God has blessed me to be around so many diverse people, not just in the Black community, but different races, to see different perspectives, different viewpoints. We can have conversations that something they may talk about with me, somebody else they may talk about with. They might cuss them out, might want to fight. That's why I say know your lane, know what your gift calling is, what your assignment is. Because the way somebody may talk with somebody else and receive from, they may not receive from you. So I've met people from so many diverse backgrounds, and a common thing that I hear is that they were taught and learned. They were taught, and basically they learned how to treat people the way they treated them. But they may choose to change and be different, even though their family, their generation, their ancestors may have done different things to the Black community, but they choose to be different. They didn't understand. So where you may have somebody else, another Black person, they try to say that to, they'll get offensive and this and that. But you got to think about all of us, really, at the end of the day, when you see what all this stuff happening, played. But they really played Black folk. So I can respect when people come out and speak about how they were taught, whether it be TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, things that the reason why they treat people the way they do, the reason why they treat Black folk or talked about our full lips or how we carry ourselves or how we look. But the thing about the different perspectives, same thing. You got Black folk, like they say, they trying to be Black and you trying to be white. I know Black folk that said, I can pass for white. How strong the ignorance is. And even just the feeling like if you can't identify with your oppressor, or if you can't identify with everybody that look like, are different from you, you get accepted that way. So you have some people that honestly, truly will be with people because of love. It's something about them that are different races, whether it be Black and white, Hispanic and Black, Korean and white, whatever. Who you love, who you love. But it's a difference when you do it. It's a difference when you do it from the opportunist aspect. It's a difference when you do it from the aspect of you looking, trying to see how you can get up, or them get out movies where I'm going to love you for years and years and years. I'm looking at what I can get from you. how I can benefit and prosper and grow, or how I can even just keep from you having a raw, authentic bloodline. Because it's sad when you have your own people that don't even want to be with their own people. You got every race, and I'm talking about black folk. You got every race. They outside their race if they really love them and care about them, and there's nothing wrong with that. But what about when you hate your own race? You hate your own people, and that ain't coincidental. The hurt, the pain, the dysfunction, the different gateways. So when I say people don't understand, when I say they don't comprehend, and this is where I made sure I talk to people with even different backgrounds, even in my family that may have um, white in them or different races in them. Because in my eyes, when they got that black in them, you all black, but we know it's still a difference underlining, right? But then they made it clear that it is still a difference on how you're treated. So that's like that light skin versus the dark skin and all these different things, right? A conditional mindset to keep us apart. But as far as certain struggles, certain hindrances that we have against that raw black, it is different. It is a difference. Even towards ourselves. I have to, like I tell people, even when they be like, on Facebook and different things, I hop on and hop off like hopscotch. If I miss something or you said something, it's not personal. Um, but I have to hop on and hop off. Things can be a blessing and a curse. Okay. I don't care to see everybody just it's a lot of fake folk. You want to show everybody what you did, boast and pride, and my thing is, like I said, it's just like how sometimes people say black folk, we always late to the wedding, or we always late everywhere. It's like it's many others that see and is waking up, even our own people, because you got black folk that's waking up, but you got all these different folk that's waking up and seeing what's going on but us. So you last to get to the event, last to see. But the part that hurts me and bothers me, every time you turn on, whether it be the news, the internet, whether it be social media platforms, different ones, we the face of everything that's negative. I want to commend and congratulate those that graduate and are being successful and have successful marriages, and those that are getting married and wanting to do different. A generation that's pushing and striving to do better, helping and building our communities, because it's like we can't, folk don't want to get right. How many lives have to be lost? And maybe you think about with Exodus, when Pharaoh, he told the two women, the maids women, his people, kill all the Hebrew boys, and they couldn't do it. But then that same thing that he wanted done, that curse that happened, God brought it on his people. So I said, a lot of times we don't even realize the behind the scenes stuff that's going on, the fight, the battles, the wars, because we're so consumed, our minds couldn't even fathom, because that shows how much of a selfish generation we are, even with the body of Christ. Like, if you teaching the word, and I encourage many of you, go read Deuteronomy 28. I encourage you. With my black folk, you can't see the resemblance of the curses of, people, like I said, people want the blessings and they want everything else. But you don't want to deal with this real stuff. But because not only our ancestors, our parents, different people, and that's the part where I say, when I even mentioned before, all this can't be mine. Certain stuff that I be fighting and dealing with, I said, this can't all be mine. So even when I see people chime on videos or chime on certain things that they're hearing, and a lot of times people chime in where they hurt at, where they can relate to, so that, yeah, that man ain't no good, or that woman ain't no good because your mama didn't hurt you, a woman didn't hurt you, or a man didn't hurt you. So now all men are bad. All black women and men are bad. Everybody's bad. I had this one bad taste in my mouth and everybody's bad. So it got you messed up. It's toxic now. Now you're mentally messed up. So then when I see, I'm like, this the irony. Like, folk don't see that you haven't walked right into something. So when I say things begin to unfold, especially as much as we have an epidemic in the black community, just the division. You see every other race stand for their folk. But you can't stand for nothing. If you look, if you what they say, if you fight for something or stand for nothing at all. I think that's kind of how it is. But anywho, you gotta change. If you got baby daddy at the baby daddy, or if you know this man messing with 2, 3, 4 thoughts, you come on, man. You not even got the what they say, the not the purpose, but the preference, even talking about certain things as far as men, our black men. You want so much out of other races and other things. But sometimes us healing, we all got hurt. We all got pain. We got dysfunction. But it's a hate that we have towards each other. You even have people telling you that you look silly. Because when you look at the Hispanics, when you look at the white races, when you look at different races, they stand for their people and their women. I'm not saying everybody, but a majority. It should tell you something when we the face of everything that's negative. Housewives, the entertainment. Like I said, the cultural appropriation where people will bite your style, bite everything, even if it's tampered with and altered. People will bite it. Gifted and talented. But we've been conditioned and taught not to love ourselves. So this is what I mean when I say people don't realize the damage that has been caused. The hurt, the pain, the mindset has been affected because of throughout history, even till today. Things that we still dealing with. Got to fight for everything. Work extra hard to graduate, extra hard to try and keep our kids on track. A lot of stuff that we do and we end up entangled in, we didn't even know. When you have even like I said, with the uprising of children out of wedlock, when they talk about the feminist movement, some of this stuff was before my time. So when I say I ain't even signed up for this, some of this stuff. But when I can be like, we need our men, even through bad relationships with black men, white men, whoever, but I'm talking about my people, I can still say we need our boys. We need strong men. It's not by coincidence. Come on, the face of everything that's negative. You can't reproduce if you dysfunctional. If you in jail, if you homosexual, you got some men that straddle the fence and women that go between both roads. You want my folk burning. So people don't understand and see it is a difference. Even in the repercussions. How God will use his people. We're supposed to be an example and a role model, but we're so entangled. Come on, Black American. That folk are starting to wake up, pay attention and see. And this is what I say when I say it's nothing wrong with, like I said, interracial dating or anything, you're mixed or whatever, but still respecting the difference. That's why I gave the example when I went to Hawaii. That was one of the main things that they mentioned. Respecting the culture. Respecting it's a difference. Because now everybody's hood, everybody's gangster, everybody's this. And I'd be wondering, this is what I thought about in my head earlier. Everybody's hood that's gangster want to rob, steal, and kill. If a war would have come, y'all gonna go on the front. Because you can kill your own people. You want to be dope boys and gangs. Will you go at the front line of war? Cause really they looking at like you just getting killed off anyways. We're gonna put y'all in the front. Don't even realize from women to men how much we contribute to the foolishness. So then people are confused why so many children, innocent people, everybody's dying is not just because they robbed or stole, or you got innocent people dying. This is why I encourage people to read Deuteronomy about those curses. So then you put a stamp on, oh, she's a bad woman. If you're not taking care of your kids, whether you was a baby daddy or you was married or whatever, you can't, why you jumping on the bandwagon with them? If you a mother that's not taking care of your kids and all you care about is eyelashes and all this other stuff and child support and welfare, then yeah, what you talking about? Because people have to look at things from different perspectives. You have some women that may need to get assistance, but then you got daddies not taking care of their children. It is a trap. All of this stuff, it ain't just the dope boy stuff. All of this stuff is a trap. Them wake up calls is real. Them reality checks is real. So how it's just like when people be at the club, they bouncing and crunk to a song and you ain't even about that life or whatever that song is talking about, but you jumping and they talking about they killing and shooting and I got this and I got that and you don't got that. You supporting these people and you ain't even got that. So you wonder why we get to the mindset of everybody got to have a Birkin, everybody got to have this, because what you consume, it's a mindset. No priorities. Don't even got your kids. That's why I say people, you have to think every person's situation as an individual is different. But I was talking to somebody yesterday and we were talking about how some black folk, you make all of us look bad. Because, we already get the bad rep anyways. Everything that we can't do nothing right as far as the world, as far as people, our own people, other people, everybody. We can't do nothing right? According to them. Which the devil is a lie. That's why I congratulate and encourage other people. Thank you. Look, keep pushing, keep pressing. But at the same time, who you helping? What are you doing in your own communities? Because you know how we do. We sometimes our own worst enemy. We tear our own self down so bad it's not even funny. Competing and feeding into the narrative of what's being written for us. You ain't no better. So I respect those, whether they black, Haitian, African, because I associate with all of them. And they love me. That's why I say I had to learn the hard way, because when I didn't understand when certain people didn't like me and I'm like, they black too. I understand. I'm like, I understand. I'm like, well, in my eyes, we still black. So why you act like that? But it is like a underlining hate that we have towards each other. So why people keep nitpicking, pointing out, oh, this is why African Americans don't like Africans, or Africans don't like African Americans, or this is that and this is that. Okay, so what you gonna do? Are you gonna be that one to make a difference versus keep pointing out every little thing? Because people do that in life. They point out every little thing that you do wrong instead of what you're doing to help it. So the moral of all the reality checks, because people don't even realize a lot of these things that are happening behind the scenes. The thing that hurts me is a lot of black folk ain't even ready. You ain't prepared. You so consumed with the entertainment industry. You so consumed with getting that thing jumped up into. Everybody want a mandingo. You talk about the black man and everything else. Everybody want a mandingo. Even the men want a mandingo. So I don't understand. You trying to figure out why we keep going down the same road of destruction. How many lives got to be lost? I agree to the point where until God is in it, it ain't gonna work. But then when innocent folk losing their lives in the black community that were educated, that were doing the right thing, trying to help folk, we you get killed off. You ain't tired yet. Respecting the differences, knowing boundaries, even those that have black in them. It's still a difference between somebody that's raw. I'm talking about black mama and black daddy, the black American. It's still a difference. Even though you may adapt and grow to the culture, it's still a difference. The treatment, the mindset, whether it be dark skin, light skin, it's still a difference. Ask somebody. I don't care if you was brought up and raised in it. I told you I grew up with a friend. She was in the hood. It's still a difference. So everybody's not gonna understand certain levels of the hurt, the pain. So even when I see or meet certain people, black folk, that are dealing with things, I'm like, I understand and I get it, because it's the hurt, the pain, the division we have in our own families and our own generations. You dealing from it here, you dealing from it there, so many different levels. And that's why I say it's even a mockery with even just black history, when we still dealing with the same stuff. So people want to justify and make excuses for it, but we become so numb to every time, yeah, somebody's getting killed, a black person child getting hit, or you got a Karen over here, you got this. Y'all ain't tired yet that we can't do what we want to do and get away with it? I don't care how much money you make, how educated you are, how intellectual you are, until we can come together as a people. Even those that are connected, that may be mixed, there be other races that support, that believe, first and foremost, as the body of Christ, because many members but one body, but you don't even support your people. We're still the outskirts. Ask them. It's a difference. Pay attention. It's a difference. So when things begin to happen, and even when I gave the example of in Exodus, when, Pharaoh wanted those Hebrew boys killed, how God brought the same thing on them and killed all the firstborn in Egypt. How we're seeing so many things manifest on things that people are doing to the black community, that's coming back on your people. Because God is a just God. Okay. So he gets on us for our wrong. I gave that example of my own self in the past. And just even now, if I do something, God will check me. So God is the accountant of all accountants. He keeps a track of the book. So yes, he corrects his people. But then don't think that you're getting away. So people are confused where it's not just always just death. People are wondering why your kids are in the hospital, whether it be white, black, Puerto Rican, whoever. You didn't address certain things. Sin has increased, accelerated. Conversations, or people will attack so quick and they will point out what we do as far as the black culture, but don't contribute or talk about their contributions. Yes, God gonna get us for our part, and some folk losing their life, and everybody don't go to heaven. Stop putting them angel got doggone wings on everybody. Everybody think they hood. Stop that. It's irritating. It's a mockery. It's an insult. Especially when you can't acknowledge. That's what cultural appropriation is. When you don't acknowledge where you got it from as American history. What you say? We adapted this. We took this, or we got this. This is something that we had. Instead of giving respect due to different cultures, different races, of where you actually took it from. This is why that systemic stuff is such a fight. Because folk don't want to talk about that real. So even when I have to have these real conversations with my kids, because there are 3 different shades of black. They're all raw black, but they're different shades. And it's like I have to have conversations with them to make sure that we stay on the same page, where you don't treat nobody no different. This sister ain't no better than the next one. You ain't no better than nobody else out there. You still treat people like you want to be treated, love and respect. But not only that, compliment somebody instead of degrading or talking about and downing everybody. Hey, girl, I like your hair. I like your lashes. I've told different races, girl, I like this. But learning to love yourself in your place, in your space. So as much as we got black women talking about every other race, you trying to be them. Let's be real. Just as well as they trying to be us. So isn't it hypocrisy? Well, we've been taught and conditioned to not even love ourselves. It's a difference between doing things because, I want to have braids, I want to have this. But now we go so far, people killing over weave, killing over stupid stuff. And I just be looking back like, this can't be that ignorant. Like, this can't be me just tripping. People robbing and stealing over stupid stuff. But then take into consideration the other side. You help create this narrative, right? When you give about the oppression, you break up the black family home, no fathers, no, that you got the entertainment industry teaching our children. But at the same time, you got to look at it both ways. You eating into it, you feeding into it. This is why I don't even rock with certain people no more. This is why I don't listen to certain things anymore, because you helping lead us to destruction. So if you still following it, you want to be turned up because everybody turned up and YOLO. But then you got to think about a lot of folks ain't even got life insurance. You'll do a GoFundMe real quick. Or even some people, when your child get killed, they'll give you a check. That doesn't add up to that life that's gone. So then it makes me question too. Did you just want the money? Because then when you have a real mama that really cared about her child, that may have been an innocent child, that may not been in the gangs and the thug life and all that, and they get murdered and killed. And she like, no, I don't forgive you. No, this ain't right. So it gets to a point where we doing all this talking and conversating, and we in 2022, and it's the same thing. Same thing with the church, the division, the same stuff. Don't want to talk about it. Don't want to accept it. But not only that, you live in a life of don't want to forgive. What examples is that? So it's like now it's redundant. And you think God ain't judging us for that? So people confuse why God is stirring up a remnant, stirring up his people from all different races. Like I said, even to our black people. When I say read Deuteronomy, when I say the wailing of hearts, down, look, living by the sword, dying by the sword. You people killing and all this other stuff, and then you dying by it too. Knowing the consequences. No one will come with it. Let's be realistic. You might as well say you signing your death certificate before you even get it. You know, sometimes people put family members in a grave before they even get there. That's what you're doing to yourself. You're doing to your kids. You're doing to your neighborhoods, your environment, your community. It's a shame where gunshots just going off from neighborhood to neighborhood, places to places, because you don't want to work for anything. Yes, we know all these things is hard. This is why I say thank you to those that are talking to our communities, building up our communities, those of, first and foremost, the black communities, because it's different when it hit personally, it hit home. They may hear you a little differently because you can relate and identify, right? But then when you have other races too standing up, hey, my brother, my sister, I see you hurting. People think the shaking and awakening is by coincidence. This is why it's important to prepare. This is why it's important to, even women with all this doggone gossiping. I'm like, you got women so like, oh my gosh, the silly women, Lady was saying. They creepy. Look. Oh my goodness. When they say knowledge being increased, when you see stuff and it's just like, and you wonder why you alone. Some people are alone by choice, to heal, to grow, to mature, to restore virtue back, because we made mistakes. You know, we were given, messed up. So we end up in mistakes and all this other stuff. But God will clean you up and restore your virtue. But you got to seek him. But then you got someone, you so thirsty. That was you follow women, these women after the bag and all this other stuff, and they alone, or relationship don't even last past 5 years. You got women that's been like back in the day, you, and still to this day, you been running around the block. Everybody that went up through you. Men do the same thing, but of course they not gonna get the same thing. Men with 10 kids, you can't take care of one of them. That's cute. That ain't cute. That's why I say. But then you'll be out there with Black Lives Matter. You'll be out there marching other stuff. You a hypocrite. You a straight hypocrite. So this is the part when I say, when you don't take accountability for your part and your contributions as a mother, as a father, or whoever you are, different races, different cultures, but especially in the Black community, because we got a lot of foolishness going on where folk want to stand and cry and all this other stuff. But God has allowed us to be a part of an example. So do you think it's by coincidence that we've been used while we've been oppressed, altered, to stay as far away from what we were called to do? what we were designed to do. It's not by coincidence all these things are being exposed and manifested. And I put some different scriptures for references in the description box. But the one that I'm going to read is Daniel 4. Let me get to it because this is Daniel 12:4. But O Daniel, shut up the words and seal the book, even to the end time. Man shall run to and fro, and knowledge shall be increased. So many are knowledgeable, intellectual, but they still don't even see what's happening. It's sad because you see every time you turn. That's why I say I have to hop on stuff and hop off. It's so toxic. That's why I said, my black folk, you ain't tired yet. We in 2022 and we've been seeing, this ain't nothing new, seeing the same thing. But some people, you bad and you hard and all this other stuff, but really you scared. Been so conditioned to, I'm gonna be honest, got that yoke around your neck. And that's the part that's sad and that's hurtful that we're seeing, because our own people, we can't even support each other. Talk all that. That's why I have to block people out. You talk all this junk about everybody. You ain't even doing it to support your people. That's why I say understanding the difference and respecting the difference between the different cultures, the different races, the mix, the not mix, whatever. It's a respect. So we're expected to give respect to everybody else. Respect this, respect that. Give honor that's due, which we do. A lot of times we don't have no choice, no way. Because we can't get away with everybody else get away with. When it's raw, it is a difference. But we're expected to respect and hurt for everybody else. But who is hurting for us? Who is really standing with us authentically? I ain't talking about, look, always, can we have anything? Can we live? Can we breathe? Because, and God is breathing on his people. God's people is many members, but one body. But can we live? So now people are getting a taste of what we've dealt with the different things that are happening right now, right? You can't run from God. So then, like I said, people are painting that picture of the movies that we watch, different things that are being exposed from the want to control your mind, your thoughts, and put chips in your brain and control what you do, where you go, what you say, everything. There's nothing new under the sun. So when you thought that you were above and you would just, that's them, you're accountable. So until the shoe is on the other foot, sometimes people won't even see. But even how God does us, we still accountable for our part, black folk. You ain't tired of your kids dying, innocent ones dying. You got the black on black crime. That's why I say some stuff is a mockery. It's an insult. How you stand out there with everybody else, but you can't even stand with your own people. You can't even stand. It's a mockery. It's hypocrisy. So it's sad when stuff hit close to home and then reality checks come in where you even got, because of the love of money is the root of all evil. Where you don't even love your people enough. People die. You only care about how much money you're going to get. You don't support. You're not there. Nobody has, many, I don't say nobody, many don't even have life insurance. You got a lot of children and sons that you might as well go and get life insurance on them, because the way they lifestyle is, let's just be real, the way they lifestyle is, they playing Russian roulette to win their death certificate signed. I said one of the things that I experienced was when I went in 2007 and God allowed me to be touched and I lost my mind, and he saved me as far as not allowing me to go to hell and die in my sin. He allowed me to see in 2008 and further on that there was so many that overdosed and lost their mind that could have been me. So many that overdosed. And if you look, just look, Google it. From 2008 to 2013, and even now on an all-time high, where people, some of them unintentionally, and end up over unintentionally from drugs and gateway. And I told you, this spiritual side is a whole nother ball game, where they end up because of whether peer pressure, trying to hang, trying to be cool, whatever, to cope, whatever it was, whether it be prescription or over the counter, prescription, over the counter, or street drugs. That was the people pointing the finger real quick to you in that situation. But he allowed me to see when he brought me out how massive an acceleration it was on the overdosing. So when I do what I do, I don't do it just because I know where I could have been. Even when I go to work at the hospital, when I take care of people, it'd be like when I see people in a state that that could have been me. Just the compassion. So people think just because you are this and you are that and you're that race and that color, you better be praying whoever's around your family, your people, wherever it is, whether it be the hospital, McDonald's, Burger King. I've been telling my family and people connection, you better pray over everything, not just your food. You better pray over that weave, the clothes that you wear. You don't know what's attached to connected to it, what's coming in the sky. Because folk think they finna run from stuff. You can't run from God or what he allows to take place. So like as Daniel said, in the last days, seal up the book. Because so many folk are intellectual and you're knowledgeable, but you're not discerning the times. You can't discern what's happening or what's unfolding. Do you care about your brothers and sisters? The body of Christ, believers, do you really care? We weren't taught about certain things, or we weren't educated on certain things, so we don't talk about it. That's why many people don't want to share stuff or don't want it to be taught in schools, don't want it to be explained or whatever, because that means it's an unfolding and a breaking. But whether you want to or not, it's happening. So when I mean people don't understand that you contribute to the acceleration, how evil, shadiness, whether it be amongst your brothers, your sisters, your cousins, those of your own race, not of your race, those of your religion, not of your religion, then you begin to see that some of those that you stood with, some of those that you walked with, those that you followed, those that you voted for, and who you thought they were. Where control. Satan capitalizing on people's souls. Mocking God. Whatsoever a man soweth, that shall he also reap. So it is important. So I say I'm thankful for those that God is pushing forward to build up our communities and the Black communities, seeing Black marriages, men, strong Black heterosexual men that have wives. Stop trying to take somebody else's man, because I'm like them. Look, you get touched. You get touched. No respect. The Bible talks about in the last days, it talks about that it be 7 women to 1 man. Well, you that thirsty, you want to share. I don't like to share everything. I mentioned that before. So I want to share everything. Seeking attention and affirmation that you so shady that you go sleep with another man's woman. It's Bible. That I tell you, I read Deuteronomy. A man, you sleep with everybody else's wife. But the same thing that she did with him, she'll do with you. The same thing that he did with her, she'll do with you. So then you wonder why when we see all this, even the effeminacy, no self-control, because the truth will hit you like a whammy truck. Why you think some people killing folk or even men? Because you didn't got to a point where you didn't felt small. Somebody didn't told you about yourself. Some of them, not all of them. Even with women. So vulnerable. You so hungry and thirsty where you can't even see. And some folk losing their lives. That's why I say it's the difference between you being with somebody regardless of what race, culture, whatever, but you really feeling them and you want to get to know them. But then you got some folk, they got ulterior motives. Then when people keep coming up missing or dead, people trying to figure out what happened. That's just another dead person. They don't even care. Things happen to black folk, they brush it off. That should make you feel some type of way. Some type of way. Sad. Like I said, I didn't even want to do this video. And I'm sure it was all over the place. But it hurts my heart where people can't see beyond what you see right in front of you. Respecting the difference. Respecting it is a difference. That would say everybody hood and want to be this and what. Man, but you take some of these coughs and these lickings and these hits. The damage. Even in the church. People hungry. Seeking help. Seeking deliverance. Seeking areas. And it's nothing like your own people. My black folk. We need to heal. Mature and grow. Or you're going to continue to see curses being fulfilled. That was the people want the blessings and everything else. But you can't even discern the times or the people you around. You still following the same thing. Until it comes knocking at your door. That was I said, Lord have mercy. I thank you, Lord, for surrounding me around people. Ooh, because it is people that's hungry. The word talks about when you go disciple or the Lord gives you a word to say, if they don't receive it, shake the dust off and keep it moving. That's for everybody. The body of Christ, that's for everybody. Believers, black, white, poor. If they don't, shake it off. But it does hit differently for me when I see my people going through stuff, doing the same thing. Where you got to watch your shoulder from your own people, own men, own women, own children, on top of everybody else. It's like enemy. You fighting everybody. Like that stuff gets draining, man. It gets draining. It's time to break down walls and break down barriers. That's why I say people hard as ever. But if you would have had to go before a battle, would you really stand there just like you fighting in these streets and shooting up in the on the interstate and people, kids getting hit, don't have no remorse, just ruthless and cold? I be wanting to do some of them same people when the gun is to your head or reality saying, come on, them reality checks, and it sets in and it hits you. Do you feel the same way? Are you going to respond the same? Because you do have some people that they don't care about life. They don't care about nothing. If it's my time, it's my time. Ride or die. You know, they feel like that. But some folk have no respect of life. Who's raising this generation? What influences do we have? You have to take all that in consideration. This is why I don't even listen to certain music anymore. My kids can't listen to it. I shut it off. Because when you learn and you mature, you do better. Them real conversations that we now have to have with our children, even those that I know that may be mixed, family members that have children that are mixed, we still got to have them same conversations. But still embracing your culture, embracing even when people don't embrace you. Because you have some people that come from different backgrounds or different races, and because you tamper with black, boy, you don't need, boy, they'll treat you different. So you'll take it in part, but you won't take it in whole because you can't. So that's why I say respect the differences. Respect and understand that we all hurt, we have pain. So if you really care, speak up then. As believers in the church, many members but one body, but basically you watch us go through. That's why it's important to encourage each other. That's why I respect, and I was just listening to kingdom music. I love it. I love seeing different believers coming together, building the kingdom of God, but still respecting it's a difference between us that we go through, but still loving my brothers and sisters with the heart of God. So if I hurt, you should hurt. When we come and stand together, it's a difference. But it is what it is. But like I said, it's a lot of blood that's crying out from the ground. It's a lot that's happening because we don't want to address or talk about it, even in our own families, where folk is having a lot of midlife crisis, men and women, children, where you just going left and people are becoming casualties. Your children. You ain't tired yet. That's the reality check. But we have to stand together. United we stand, divided we fall. But the word talks about, I didn't come to bring peace, but a sword of division. So it's allowing us to see who is who. Your mindset, how thirsty and hungry people are just for somebody to follow, looking for something, hungry, where you end up eating anything. Y'all be taking for granted what these folk even put on social media and these movies. Them zombies and all this. I mean, these folk serious about all this stuff, man. They know how to manipulate us. All right, y'all be blessed and have a wonderful day. As I said, you can refer back to those scriptures that I put in the description box. As I said, this was a reality check. But at the end of the day, what you gonna do? You gonna fight or you gonna lay down? Know who's around you in your circle. Y'all be blessed and have a wonderful day.